Jim Blass was just 12 when he began preparing for a career that would take him to the higher echelons of one of the greatest manufacturers in the world, Caterpillar. In 7th grade, Jim went to work at his father's downtown Peru clothing store next to Debo's, Bader Blass, and it was a rough start. Dad fired me 14 times, Jim says with a laugh. My dad always said, if you can work for me, you can work for anyone. And I've proven that. Battle-tested in 1975, the same year he earned his mechanical technology degree from IVCC, he went to work for Caterpillar. And over the next 35 years plus, he's changed positions 14 times, averaging a promotion every 2.5 years. Today, he's Director of Global Product Validation, and as such, responsible for Caterpillar product validation activities worldwide. He also oversees the Global Research and Development Headquarters in Peoria and product test and proving grounds in Peoria, Tucson, China, and Britain's Peterborough and Stafford plants. How high pressure a position is that, Jim? Jim said that if something goes wrong, if there's one throat to choke, it's mine. Were leading what he affectionately calls the Skunk Works, a think tank in Peoria from 1995 to 2000. He says of those years, it's a rare opportunity when you accept the job and are told to go find your own building, office, staff, and physical assets to get it up and running in 2 months. It was ideal, he says, no production concerns, and the boss stayed out of the way. Their mission was to develop next-generation diesel fuel systems, an assignment that afforded him the opportunity to create a technical operation from ground zero. Its 70 engineers represented a League of Nations, including Russia, Turkey, Iran, India, China, Japan, Korea, and Lebanon. Its highly engaged environment was contagious and groundbreaking. Developing fuel injectors, hydraulic pumps, and more, the group produced over 90 patents. Jim has 14 himself and became known as the Dream Team. Many from Jim's group continue to lead Caterpillar innovation today. With extensive experience in both manufacturing and product design, Jim's a rare breed, and he flourished in plant management. In the early 2000s, Jim updated the Pontiac plant, an extreme makeover on steroids, requiring 23,000 gallons of paint, moving 280 machines, and moving another 4 million pounds of outdated equipment. Jim remodeled a 1 million square foot plant in 2 years and earned Caterpillar's first 5-star cleanliness rating. Jim then helped the Thomasville, Georgia startup earn the Facility of Distinction and Best-in-Class Safety Awards. And while general manager at the massive Aurora facility, it achieved quality and safety records. Like fellow IVCC graduates, Dan Yanka, president of machine tool giant MAG IAS, and Brian Krasaniak, Caterpillar Aurora powertrain factory manager, Jim is working to strengthen the IVCC program that helped lay the foundation for their careers. Jim and Brian engineered Caterpillar's donation to IVCC of a $600,000 machining center, and last fall, the first 10 Aurora employees completed IVCC machinist training for Caterpillar. Jim has been helping IVCC for years. While here, he learned from Don Haas, a man who Jim says demanded respect in more ways than one. His classes were well disciplined, and he could explain it and then show you how to do it. Jim attended classes in both the East Campus Army Barracks and brand new main campus and made friendships he maintains today with Craig Lyons, Bill Schott, and Tom Lezak, among others. Jim also served on Don Haas's advisory committee. Don had the foresight to keep the industry-college relationship going, Jim says. Jim and his wife, the former Mary Wicks, also an IVCC graduate, raised 2 daughters and a son in Bloomington. Jim drove each day to Pontiac, Mossville, or Peoria so their children could remain in one school system. The Blass children share their father's passion for travel and adventure. Each moved overseas after college, and Justin still resides in New Zealand. Fearless, Jim does his own roof work 45 feet up, skydives from 12,000 feet, and zip lines over jungles. I asked Jim what the key to success was, and he said, attitude. If your attitude is right, you'll be given the opportunity. You've got to have a teachable heart. And, I might add, a thick skin. Anyone who returns to work every day after being fired 14 times has got to have a hard shell and a big heart. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome into the IVCC LPO Hall of Fame, James Blass, a man who has accomplished so much across the globe, yet maintains powerful ties with his hometown and his home school. And Jim, before you begin your remarks, a close friend and admirer of yours was unable to attend this evening, but sent a note, reading in part. Jim, I admire your passion for technology and innovation. Your leadership within Caterpillar and the industry has had a tremendous impact on the lives of thousands in the manufacturing and technology communities. You've helped make CAT a global leader. We consider you a dear friend and wish you, Mary, and your entire family all the best. Congratulations, Dan and Connie Yanka. Congratulations, Jim.
Thank you, Dr. Cochran, the Foundation Board, and Dan Jonka. I knew couldn't be here tonight, but he is a very close and dear friend. To be recognized as a Hall of Fame member from IVCC is truly noteworthy. I remember the staff. They really come to mind when I think of IVCC because they made it special. I remember them for their dedication to the students. I started my industrial technology classes on the old campus. As Fran said, my dad was in the clothing business, so for me to go into industry, and especially into industrial technology, was an anomaly all of its own. A businessman, yes, but mechanically inclined, my dad wasn't. He was very supportive, even though I'm sure it wasn't a curriculum that he would have chosen for me. My instructors made the difference. I came to class with all the immaturity an 18-year-old can deliver. It was interesting because there were several adult learners in our curriculum, and they always brought a special meaning because they were very serious and mature, and it added a difference in the whole learning process for me. As Fran mentioned, Don Haas taught me everything I knew about manufacturing and foundry operations, and Don truly did demand respect in his class. And trust me, you really did learn when you were in there. We called him Teddy Bear as our nickname for him, and I'll tell you, he was very, very well liked by all the students. John Murphy taught me engineering, design, and also gave me a job at the college. I was really what they called a student drawing checker, and you stood at a light table. If you're not familiar with a light table from the old days, it's a table that the light just shines through. You lay a drawing down on top of it, and then you kind of grade the drawing based on line quality, lettering, geometric tolerancing, and of course functionality. Back in the day in John's class, we got a Melcor calculator that cost $70, and the big deal with it was it did square roots. I think if you Google Melcor right now, you'll find that they're no longer in business. We gave John a hard time, but what I really admired about John is he gave us a hard time right back. He was an instructor and a father figure all in one. Dave Scott did his best to teach me about differential equations, technical mathematics, and was always very, very patient with you in the learning process. He also taught us how to use the slide rule, and I am truly grateful that they went out of vogue very quickly. Adrian Cruz taught me technical writing, speech, and the finer points of euchre on Friday nights. If you knew Adrian, his monotone voice and lack of emotion kept us all in stitches. He told me, he said, "Jim, you're a very passionate person. I need you first to learn how to speak about something that meant absolutely nothing to you." So I gave my first speech in his class on Buzzards Day, how people in parts of this great nation celebrate the return of turkey vultures to their areas in the spring. Be thankful you aren't getting that presentation tonight. John Augustine taught me mechanics and heat and strength of materials. He was the most serious of all of our instructors. We never did get him to loosen up. It's funny, I remember them, but not many others, of college professors through my college years. There's a message there. My job at CAT has afforded me a chance to see the world. I've managed operations, as Fran said, in several states and in different countries around the world. I've been to Europe over 50 times, and trust me, you get to know the planet pretty well when you see it that often. One of the perks of my job is being involved in the community. In Aurora, I was involved in several boards, one of which was the Aurora Chamber of Commerce. Aurora, as you know, is the second largest city in Illinois with about 200,000 people. I remember attending one board meeting where we were changing presidents. The new president, Dr. Bill Marzano, Dean of Social Science and Education at Waubonsie Community College, approached me before the meeting. "Jimmy," said, "I'm disappointed in you." Now, you know, when somebody says they're disappointed in you, it goes right to the marrow of the bone. When I got over being shocked, I said, "Why are you disappointed in me? What didn't I do? What didn't I remember?" "Where were you in 1974, he said. His face was very seriously composed. He was as intense as I've ever seen him, and I knew I screwed something up. "I was going to Illinois Valley Community College in Oglesby, Illinois," I replied. "It's a small community college southwest of here." And just for a point of reference for all of you, if you're from the Chicago area, nothing really exists south of I-80, so you really have to explain things to people when you talk to them. "Did they teach you anything about psychology?" he exclaimed. I quickly responded, "I can tell you about Pavlov's dogs, Maslow's hierarchy of human needs, and Sigmund Freud if you'd like." He just stared at me. Matter of fact, he just glared at me. In an instant, I said, "Dr. Marzano, how could I have forgotten you? You were only a few years older than me when you taught psychology. It was on the new campus. I got lost, came in late, and had to sit in the front row." He just laughed. "You see, when you don't remember your instructors at IVCC, they remember you." I look back on my days at IV with very fond memories. It's a great college offering a great educational opportunity for the students. And as Fran said, many times you hear about people still meeting with their college buddies, and you instantly think about four-year universities. Well, over the years, I've kept in touch with all my buddies from IVCC, and I'm really glad I did. I also tonight want to give a special thanks to my wife, Mary. She's been the glue that has kept our family together through multiple relocations, bridged the gap when I wasn't there. So I appreciate that, dear. And I want to thank all of you who attend tonight in support of all of us being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Thank you again for this, and John Boehner, I feel your pain.